Hi there, Simon Orbell from Smartmove. Today on Find Out Fridays, we're going to be learning how to unlock the equity in your existing home in order to purchase an investment property. Now, when we look at this type of scenario, the two most important factors are how much equity do you have in your existing home and is it affordable? To try and bring those two factors to life, I find that the best way to do this is to actually use a live example. So today we're going to be working through a scenario as if you were to buy one of Cunninghams' properties that's on the market at the moment at Unit 3 of number 12 Cohen Street, Fairlight. So let's assume that you buy that property for $750,000. By the time we pay for stamp duty and legal costs, there's going to be roughly another $40,000 worth of costs on top, bringing the total amount that we need to finance to $790,000. Now, as you're probably already aware, most lenders love lending to borrowers at the rate of 80% loan to valuation ratio. So if we were to borrow 80% of 750, a bank would give us $600,000, leaving us with $190,000 that we need to finance. And that's where the equity in the existing property becomes so important. Let's assume that your existing home is worth $1.5 million. And let's assume that you've got an existing debt of $1 million. Once again, the banks love lending at the level of 80%. So if we take 80% of 1.5, that's a loan amount of $1.2 million. And as you can see, the difference between the available equity in your home minus the existing debt is around $200,000. And that's where we can fund the difference over here of 190. So what we end up with is we take a loan of $190,000 secured by the existing home, combined with a new home loan of $600,000 on the investment property to fund the investment property overall. So from an equity point of view, it all works, but is it affordable? And that's the key question. When I actually ran some numbers on this particular scenario based on council rates, water rates, strata fees, and property management fees, and assuming a rental income of $550 per week, which according to the Cunninghams property management team is very achievable, it actually turns out that this particular investment property costs around $290 per week to hold. Now, depending on what particular marginal rate of tax that you're paying at the moment, you may be eligible, depending on the advice of your accountant, for certain negative gearing benefits, which could make that $290 per week as little as $150. As you can see, buying investment property is probably closer than you might think, and probably a little bit more affordable than one might think as well. I hope today's been helpful and helps you to understand how to unlock the equity in existing property to purchase an investment. Feel free to contact the guys at Cunninghams or myself anytime if you have any questions.